Hello, everyone. So we're back again with Survivor South Africa. What is it? Episode 8 of season 9. Last time we had someone get hurt, and because of the mud and the spots of pale skin, I thought it was Miriam, but it was actually Shona that got injured. After Pinty pile drived her butt right into her ribs, and she sort of screamed in pain, and she had to get medically evacuated from the game. But they continued on, and it was still that mud wrestling with the wooden balls. And what they did was they changed out Shona and another player for two guys. I think it was Shane on the red side, and on the blue side, Felix. I think it's Felix, and the rest were the girls that were still in the game before, and they dropped two more balls. So now there's two chances to score. So they have to get either these two red over that direction, or these two blue over in that direction in order to win. You can see the red post here, the blue post here. So that is what it became. And even this round went for hours. Like, people were gassed out after, like, I think after maybe 5 minutes of actually wrestling around, they just kind of wrestled each other to the ground and just kind of rested for like a couple hours. And it went on for a while. They're just covered in mud and just trying to wrestle back and forth until it eventually got to the point where they got the blue ball close to the goal and one of the red balls close to the goal as well. But I think Felix on the blue, he tackled Shane and put him out of the game, and it became just the girls against each other. And on the blue side, Tony, she got a free pass to actually score the ball, and Pinty was, I think, holding the red one, so it didn't make it to the goal. So they were able to score. So, and it was a sudden death. So with that one score, blue team wins immunity. Yeah, it was pretty exciting, I would say, considering all the injuries and how physical the game got. It was pretty exciting. But all the resting in between, good thing they edited that out. But but yeah, it was a pretty exciting match. They're all just like covered in mud now. Take a look at it. See them just all covered in mud. Yeah. So the I don't know. Which team did I want to win? I think it's good that the blue tribe won immunity because they had a huge disparity in numbers according to the how it's split and how the teams were going to go. And the red tribe, it's a little bit even, and they can do some stuff where they could play with the numbers a little bit, and someone could jump ship. So it'd be a lot more exciting for them to go to tribal than for the blue tribe to go to tribal. So I think it worked out perfectly. I think Steffi, who's still on the blue tribe, she still has an immunity idol. And I believe Miriam was planning, if her tribe won immunity, she was going to pass her diplomatic immunity to Steffi during the challenge, so that Steffi can then remove herself from the tribe and then hop to the other tribe and keep herself safe. So I think that was her plan, which would have left Tajon and Tony kind of out on their own. All right, so good. All right, everyone gets back to the tribe. They got to take showers to get all that mud off of them. All right, blue tribe is celebrating their win. They got some sort of, I don't even know what the hell that is. What is that? It's some sort of like bread with, what is that in the middle? Is that like tomatoes or something? I mean, it's probably delicious. Or is that strawberries? I can't tell. It's probably delicious. I don't know what this other thing is, but this is the meal they got as their as their win. I don't know what that is. It looks interesting though. All right, so they had that meal. Pinty was celebrating something. She was talking about she's just glad they won because she didn't want to break up their tribe, and they're just trying to bond with each other. She was giving this whole speech, and it was just kind of weird because she just kind of possibly crippled someone, and she's just like talking like triumphantly, and it was just weird to me. And I think it was like Tajon that said something about give a moment of silence to Shona in case she got like really hurt or something. Right. So and then at some point, I think Pinty said something about she wants to get rid of Kehlani because Kehlani was like buddying up with the outcasts from their tribe. I think the people that came from the other tribe during the split, and it was annoying her, and she kind of wanted to get rid of Kehlani. It didn't make any sense because it's like 3-4. I think that's how the numbers split. 3-4. So if Kehlani moves to the other tribe, they lose they lose the numbers advantage. So why would you want to get rid of her? It didn't make any sense to me. But she was being uber emotional, and I think their whole conflict started with Pinty talking down to Kehlani about her performance or something like that. Even though Pinty's performance was also terrible, and Kehlani taking that personally, and it was just ridiculous emotional stuff. And then we go to the red tribe, and Dino kind of knows his cards are up, and he's trying to figure out a way to save himself. So he's talking to everybody, and he's trying to pull something out of the bag. But Dante really wanted to get rid of Dino, but the ladies wanted to get rid of Shona because not only Shona really annoying, she's also possibly injured, which means she could hold their tribe back a lot. So it's best to just vote her out instead of keeping her around and have someone that can perform during challenges kept around while you get rid of a strong player. It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't benefit them in any way. So the ladies, thinking with their head, they want to get rid of Shona. He's still going after Dino because he's threatened by Dino. Which he probably should be, because Dino is really better at the social game than he is, and that is his biggest weakness. Just trash at social game. So he's still trying to push them to get rid of Dino, and they want to get rid of Shona. So the plan was, if Shona comes back and she's fine, they're going to get rid of Dino. If not, then they're going to get rid of Shona. And yeah, I think that's what they gave to sort of appease him. So, and then Phil, I think that's what that guy's name is. Phil, I don't know, man. This guy is always shifty and always thinking of plans and stuff like that, but he doesn't really do much. This guy, he's always ready to blindside somebody. So he's kind of like, Dino's kind of working with him, and Dino's asking him, "Do you have any ideas? What are we gonna do?" That kind of stuff. And yeah, he has nothing. So Dino just goes off. He goes for a walk, and he goes looking for an idol. Smart move. Way to go. That's the thing that Sheamus didn't do. I think like 2 episodes back, and that got him voted out. Just like, when you feel like you're in danger, go looking for idols instead of just going around moping and trying to come up with ridiculous plans that doesn't serve the people that you're trying to convince to work with you. It's just nonsense. So he goes looking for an idol. Dante's still talking to the girls as they're trying to clean the mud off of them about getting rid of Dino. Eventually, Dino comes to this log right here. You see him digging around this log, and he eventually digs below it, and he finds an idol, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm like, yes, because Dino has an idol, and now and Dante also has an idol, and Dante's trying to get rid of Dino, and I'm like, that's going to be freaking massive because they go to tribal, and Dante and Dino plays his idol, then Dante knows to play his to save himself. So it would be perfect, and it'd be a very exciting tribal council. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. So Dino, after getting his idol, he goes and tells Phil about it. Now Phil is excited because now that they have an idol, they have a chance to flip the numbers around by getting the votes on Dino, and they cancel out those votes with the idol, and then they can vote out whoever they want. All right. And I was thinking that Phil was going to change the vote from Dante to someone else, but he didn't. They still targeting Dante, and I'm like, perfect plan, but it's bound to fail because Dante has an idol. All right. But this is what makes Dino a great player. He didn't just sit on that. He goes to the ladies. He goes to I think Meryl, which is the biggest social player in the game, and she pretty much has leadership of her tribe, pretty much. Dante thinks he has it, but Meryl really has it. And Dino's like giving her a whole sob story, and he's saying he really doesn't want to go to this game. He's playing on her emotions, and it's beautiful. Even behind the scenes, Dino is like, well, it's kind of real. The emotions are real, but I'm kind of using it strategically. And he's like, does that make me a bad person? And I'm like, yes, it does make you a bad person. But in this game, it is great gameplay. There's no question about that. Manipulating people like that emotionally, it makes you a bad person. But great gameplay, and I appreciate it. So I'm like getting excited just talking about it. I'm like, freaking massive players going against each other, and they're making great moves. Then the host Nico, he comes to let them know what happens with Shona, and I'm thinking, shit, she got removed from the game, and they don't get to vote anybody out. And he's giving them the whole spiel about they were worried that her ribs were cracked, and you see him there. He's giving them the whole spiel about the concerns that they had, and then he drops the bomb that luckily she wasn't injured, and they can put her back into the game. She didn't crack her rib or anything. She just felt pain, and she panicked and screamed out loud, "I can't breathe." She literally wasn't injured at all. She just never felt pain before in her life, and she lost her shit. I'm just mind blown because it looked like it really hurt her, but like honestly, Pinty is like maybe 110 pounds, maybe 120, dropping on her like that. How much damage can it really do? Just come on. If it was a grown man dropping on her, I'd be like, oh, damn. But like, come on. So she panicked, and she comes back to the tribe. There she is. There's Shona. I don't know why she's making that face, but she comes back to the tribe, and god damn, is she talking 100 miles an hour. Like, she just wouldn't shut up. She was talking about how she was worried she couldn't breathe and all this stuff. And I'm like, even when she thought she couldn't breathe, she was talking way too much. And now she's talking way too goddamn much. And everyone else is just kind of just sitting there, just kind of listening. And she is blabbing. She can't shut up. I'm just mind blown how this woman survives in this game. You can't even be social with people if you're not even going to give them a chance to talk. You just love the sound of your own voice. That's just weird. So I'm like, that's why the girls hate her. That's why the girls want to get rid of her. Because even before this injury, they wanted to get rid of her. So it's like, yeah. yeah, you can't really do that. Like the guys would probably forgive it. It's like whatever, that's just her being quirky. But ladies, they don't they don't play that. They'll act friendly to her face, but like they don't like that shit. So they they definitely want to get rid of her. All right, so she comes back. She talks for a long time. Everyone is forced to listen and fake laugh at her crap, and then Dino tries one more time to switch the votes to, I mean, Dante tries one more time to switch the votes to Dino, and obviously he goes to talk to Meryl. So, like, subconsciously, he knows who runs his tribe. It is her. But, like, for some reason, he thinks he's in charge, which is just weird to me. So he goes to talk to her and he tries to convince her to get rid of Dino, and she's just not having it. She's like being friendly about letting him know. She's using this whole thing like, I just feel bad for him, but I'm like, Meryl is a strategic player. She's not doing that because she feels, because of her emotions. She's definitely doing it because of strategy. But she's using that excuse, and Dante believes that Dino is manipulating her emotionally. So he's not pushing that much. He's pushing a little bit, but he's not pushing that much because he feels like, you know what I mean, that she's being manipulated emotionally, and he doesn't really have an argument around that. And I'm like, that's what makes her that good, because she can use that as a shield so that she doesn't really have to explain herself. She doesn't have to explain her strategy behind why she wants to keep Dino. And it was brilliant. Brilliant gameplay. Loved it. On the Blue Tribe, Chorizo decides that she wants to start a new alliance. And I think it's because she's worried about what would happen if Kehlani flips and they lose the numbers. So she talks to Tejan, and she's setting up an alliance with him to have Tejan, Terizo, Felix, and Tony. That's the four that she wants, and to start a whole new alliance. So that would leave out Steffi, Kehlani, and Pinty, right? So it sounded like a good plan, and Tejan was excited for it because like they were down in numbers before, and hearing that plan coming from them, he's like, yes, I'm for it. They're talking about, Felix didn't even know anything about this. Terizo told them after the fact, and he was like, I would rather have had an alliance with Steffi, because Steffi was on the outside from Tony and Tejan, so they could have pulled in Steffi and make up the numbers that way and not have to worry about Kehlani. But he was just going to roll with punches. That's how the thing went. And then Tejan says, well, in order, to kind of solidify our alliance, we're really going to need, because you guys have the numbers, we're really going to need to show, as a show of fate, to vote out one of your numbers to show that we can work together. And they're like, yeah, because as Terizo explains it, they were looking for a chance to get rid of Kehlani anyways. But while they were doing that, Kehlani was back at the tribe talking to Tony and Steffi, and she was talking about she's at the bottom of her tribe and she wants to form an alliance with them. So now those three that was at the bottom, they now have two options to go. They can either go with the Felix and Terizo alliance with just Tony and Tejan, or three of them can just work with Kehlani and vote out the rest, which I think is a better plan, because ultimately you're bringing weak players in Kehlani, because her social game is trash, to your game. And Tejan was already worried about Felix because Dante dropped the ball and said that he was kind of working with Felix. So you can get rid of Felix, no problem, and not have to worry about them teaming up when the tribes remerge. So I think that would have been a better plan. So, but that's what's going on the Blue Tribe. Their numbers advantage is pretty much gone now because of Kehlani switching sides, and they're being worried that she would switch sides. So they made plans. back at the Red Tribe, I don't. Shona is still talking 100 miles an hour, and people are annoyed. Well, not people, just the ladies. The guys kind of ignore her, but the ladies are annoyed as shit. She is talk. I just show you an image of it. This is her talking, right? And everybody else just trying to mind their own business. They're not saying anything. She is talking, talking, talking. It is amazing. All right. So then Dante tries one more time to get the numbers on his side to get rid of Dino, and he's trying to convince the ladies again, and he's pushing, pushing, pushing for Dino. And finally, they reach an agreement with him where they're like, no, he said something like, okay, if we're gonna go for Dino, if we're gonna go for Shona, what if one of them has an idol or something like that? And they're like, okay, so then we can split the votes. He's like, if we tell all the guys on the other on the other side, outside of our alliance, that we're going for Shona and have them vote for Shona, and then we, like you said, like three guys, I think him and Shane, and someone else, I can't remember who else he said, are going to vote for Dino. That way they split the votes, and it's gonna, most of them is going to go on Shona. That way, in case someone has an idol, and that was his plan. And he was hoping that someone would mess up and vote and switch their votes to Dino, and Dino would still go home. So he tells the plan. He tells this plan to get rid of Shona to Dino and Phil. See right here. See that's Dante over here. This Dino and this Phil, and he's telling them the plan to vote for Shona. And Dino drops the, what if, you know, she has an idol. He's like, we don't know if she has an idol, but what if she has an idol? What's the backup plan? And I'm like, that's what makes him a good player right there. Because you don't ask that. They don't ask that. Do you know people are worried about idols? They have backup plans. And if they're telling you one plan, they're probably voting for you as a backup. You know what I mean? So it's good to have that information. And he asked, what's the backup plan? And they're like, oh, we don't really, he's like, we don't really have a backup. And that's what tips up Dino, is like, I don't really believe him. I think they're going to split the votes between me and Shona. So Dino then goes to Shona and talks to her, and he lets her know that the votes are possibly going to go between her and him. And she tells Dino, she says, I planted a fake idol at Tribal, and if anything, I can just go and pull it out in front of everyone and make them nervous. And Dino's like, he's excited. He's like, that's brilliant. He's like, he didn't tell her he has an idol. He's like, if we can create some kind of confusion, that would be great, because they'll switch the votes away from you, and maybe we can get something going. And he's excited about it. So he goes and tells Phil about Shona's fake idol, and Phil is excited about it. And they're like, and I'm thinking, this is going to be freaking amazing, because Shona is going to use the fake idol. They're going to put all their votes on Dino. Dino's going to use his idol, and then Dante, to save himself, is going to use his idol. And it's going to be a very exciting tribal. And I couldn't wait for it. And I'm already excited. And but Shona said some weird, she was like, I'm not sure if I should use my fake idol. I was like, why would you say it and knowing you're in danger and not use it? Like, what is she saving this fake idol for? I don't freaking know. Like, they're down in numbers. Why are you playing around? It just blows my mind. So Dino, not putting all his eggs in one basket, he then goes to someone else on the other side, and he tells her, I can't remember her name. Maybe it starts with a D. I don't know. He goes to her, and he tells her that he has a hidden immunity idol. He lets her know he has the hidden immunity idol as a show of trust, so that he can work with her in the future. And she says, as a show of trust, I'm not going to tell anyone about your idol. And her plan was to switch her votes now to Dino, knowing that Dino has the idol, so that that's less votes going towards, because I believe she was going to vote for Shona. So less votes going towards Shona. And when they vote for Dante, they'll have the numbers advantage. All right. So that was her plan. And I'm like, freaking Dino's really working this tribe, man. Great gameplay all around. They get to tribal. Everyone's talking back and forth. They're not giving away anything, but they did bring up hidden immunity idols. They're like, oh, we haven't seen a hidden immunity idol yet. We don't know what it looks like. And I believe Shane was saying, oh, it's great because it allows us to kind of adapt and have plans and all this stuff. And he's like, when a hidden immunity idol does get played, then it will screw up all our games. But for now, we're good and all this stuff. And Dino's talking, and while someone else is talking, and he's making his own partners nervous, and he's making the other side nervous. And Felix is just constantly looking around, smiling, not saying anything. Shona is talking 100 miles an hour, but really they're all just waiting for Shona to grab her fake immunity idol, which she hid by the fire pit right in front of Tribal, so that they can create that confusion and they can make the other side scramble a little bit. They're waiting, they're looking at her. She doesn't do it. So Miko says, time to vote. She's the first one to vote. She goes off to go vote, and she doesn't freaking do it. And I'm like, what the hell? What is she thinking? She's in danger. Why is she doing this? So everyone goes to vote. Felix gets spooked, and he doesn't really know what's going on. He gets a little nervous. Dino's like, he's a little bit nervous, but he's like, he's telling himself, stick to the plan, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. He votes for Dante. They come down to read the votes. Anyone has a hidden immunity idol they want to use, now's the time to do it. And Dino gets up right away to go and use his hidden immunity idol. And they're all looking at it to see what it looks like because they've never seen one yet. And it's just a rock with a little symbol on it. And so he used it. It's a hidden immunity idol. He used it for himself. Like, any votes cast for Dino, it's not going to count. And I'm like, I'm waiting for Dante to use his, and he doesn't do it. He's just telling his tribe, I told you this guy is dangerous. He's like, see, this is what happens when you keep him around and all this stuff. And he's just like, and I'm just like, what is he doing? Why isn't he using his immunity idol? And they're like, time to count the votes. He doesn't use the immunity idol. I'm like, oh my God, Dante is about to freaking go home with an idol in his pocket. I'm like, oh, everything I thought was going to happen that's going to be exciting doesn't happen. The only person that stick to the plan is goddamn Dino. And it was weird. It was weird as hell. So they're counting the votes. 3 votes in a row. Dino doesn't count. Dino doesn't count. Dino doesn't count. Then Dante doesn't even seem nervous. Then Shona. Then another Shona. And I'm looking at her like, yeah, you're dumb. She's just have the shock look in her face, looking at the votes coming up her name. And I'm like, you're really dumb. You should have used your fake idol plan, but you didn't do it. And I'm hoping someone else knows where she put it and they can use her plan now that they know that she has it. But so it comes up 2 Shona, then another Dante. So it's 2 Shona, 2 Dantes. And then it comes down to the last vote. And I'm like, it's going to be Shona. And guess what? It was Shona. She gets voted out. And she doesn't know what happened. Dino doesn't know what happened. And it came out behind the scenes. Phil got nervous and he voted for Shona instead of Dante. His mess up, because he was nervous that since Shona didn't use the fake idol plan, he was nervous that he was getting played and he was just going to throw the votes on Shona to save himself in case something happened, because he knows Dino has an idol. So he's thinking, if Shona flipped and Dante saved himself, then I'm going to be the one next. So in order to save himself, he voted for Shona. And I'm like, God damn it, this lady screwed herself so freaking bad. And the rest of her tribe pretty much screwed themselves because they're down in number in Shona. And they also lost their immunity idol, and Dante still has his. It was a very exciting episode. I loved it. I freaking loved it. But goddamn, the stupidity that happened was mind blowing. But until next time.